Reports say oil has washed ashore in Louisiana just as BP workers prepare to lower a containment dome to stop a gushing undersea well. Old doubts resurface about the effectiveness of deep-sea blowout preventers. We talked to a senator whose office uncovered a 2003 report. And the House takes up cash for Caulkers, a stimulus plan supporters say could save homeowners money, energy, and create green jobs.
From the Energy News Center in Washington, D.C., this is the Energy Report with Susan McGinnis.
Good afternoon, I'm Susan McGinnis. Thanks for joining us for the Energy Report. Calm seas off the coast of Louisiana are giving crews a bit of a break as they prepare to lower a massive dome over one of the oil leaks. It's being called BP's best hope to stop the well that's been gushing for 2 weeks. The 100-ton, 4-story dome is now over the ruptured well, waiting for crane operators to lower it thousands of feet to the ocean floor. BP says this procedure has been used successfully, but never in water this deep. It says the system could collect as much as 85% of the estimated 200,000 gallons escaping each day and funnel it to a ship on the surface.
My responsibility from day one as the federal on-scene coordinator to, as best as possible, be transparent about what's going on and also to manage expectations. So I know we are all hoping that this containment system will work. But I want to remind everybody that this containment system is a first of its kind deployed in 5,000 feet of water. So please, I have to manage your expectations and just understand that our job is not done until this well is sealed.
The White House said the calm seas also let teams burn off more floating oil while aircraft sprayed chemical dispersant on other slicks to break up and sink them. Crews are also drilling a relief well to take the pressure off of the blown out well at the site. That, though, could take up to 3 months. There are reports oil is washing ashore at New Harbor Island, Louisiana. Birds have been seen diving into the slick. It's nesting time for seagulls and pelicans right now. The danger is they may pass along this oil to their young. There are not enough containment booms to protect the entire Gulf Coast, so teams are ready to respond to any signs of oil getting into the fragile marshlands where birds and fish breed. A Senate Energy Committee member now says she has evidence the oil industry itself has had doubts about blowout preventers for years. Today, Clean Skies News talked with Washington Democrat Maria Cantwell. Her office says it uncovered a 2003 report from a leader at Transocean dealing with the relative effectiveness of BOPs like the one you see here. According to Cantwell's office, in that report, the author raised questions about how well the offshore drilling industry was handling the upgrades. Now, Cantwell tells us the oil industry needs new standards in place for these BOPs, and change could come very soon.
Well, I know that the Secretary of Interior briefed us a few days ago about this, and he plans to give some recommendations to the President within the next 30 days. One of the things I think should be part of that recommendation is that blowout preventers should have the same kind of third-party review as some of the other oil structures and shipping structures. So the American Business Shipping Industry Association does these third-party reviews, and I think that would give more confidence that these blowout preventers really do function when called on and give us some good, important statistics about that.
As for the author of that 2003 report, Earl Shanks said to McClatchy newspapers, blowout prevention equipment has certainly improved since he wrote that report. Well, it may not be surprising the Minerals Management Service has decided to call off this week's SAFE Awards. That stands for Safety Awards for Excellence. They honor drilling companies for outstanding safety and pollution prevention. The ceremony was scheduled for the Offshore Technology Conference this week in Houston. One of the finalists is BP. Last year's top award went to Transocean, owner of the rig that blew up. MMS says it's too focused on managing the Gulf cleanup to hold the event. It will decide in the next few weeks how to handle this year's awards. West Virginia mine safety officials are asking for a new group of inspectors to police coal mines in response to the explosion that killed 29 men at Massey Energy's Upper Big Branch mine. The State Board of Coal Mine Health and Safety has recommended that a bill to create the group be submitted at a special legislative session next week. Governor Manchin asked the board to recommend ways to improve safety quickly, while the State Office of Miners Health, Safety and Training would continue as the industry's chief regulator. The legislation would create 4 special enforcement and accident prevention teams under the state Secretary of Commerce to target troubled mines. House lawmakers are set to vote today on the Cash for Caulkers program, formerly known as Homestar. The bill would authorize a total of $6 billion in rebates to people who install energy-saving products such as insulation, windows, and water heaters. As many as 3 million families are expected to take advantage of these rebates over the next 2 years if the bill passes, which is expected. President Obama and other supporters say the plan will create green jobs in construction and manufacturing, help consumers lower their energy bills, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The bill also got a big push this week from endorsements by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Association of Manufacturers. But many Republicans say the plan is too expensive and worry the government can't run the program effectively. If approved, it moves to the Senate, where observers believe it will be attached to the next jobs bill. Japan has restarted a fast breeder nuclear reactor for the first time since a major accident led to its forced shutdown more than 14 years ago. The 280-megawatt Manju reactor's initial startup in August of 1995 lasted only 4 months. It was shut down when more than a ton of volatile liquid sodium leaked from a secondary cooling system. Nobody was hurt, no radioactivity escaped, but Manju's operators came under fire for concealing videotape that showed extensive damage to the reactor. Fast breeder reactors are designed to make nuclear fuel by producing more fissile material than they consume. Japan must import virtually all of its fuel and began the breeder reactor program to limit that vulnerability. The country now gets a third of its electricity from nuclear, and the government would like to raise that to 40%. Breeders create plutonium, which can be diverted to weapons use, making breeders controversial in Japan. Scientists at MIT have developed a new technology that may allow solar cells to be coated onto paper. The printed solar cells are still in the research phase and might be years away from being commercialized. The technique involves coating the paper with an organic semiconductor material using a process similar to an inkjet printer. The solar cells, made using carbon-based dyes, are about 1.5% to 2% efficient in converting light into electricity. It's much less efficient than current PV cells, but considerably cheaper to manufacture. MIT is focusing much of its effort on quantum dots, which can prove beneficial in energy conservation. Let's take a look at what's going on around the Beltway tomorrow. The D.C. Transportation Department continues its showcase of a new streetcar scheduled to return to operation in 2012. That'll be at City Center through Saturday the 8th. That's the Energy Report. We'll see you again tomorrow with your latest energy news. For any suggestions or comments about our programming on Clean Skies News, you can email us at contact@cleanskies.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. From all of us here in the Energy News Center, have a good day.